Hey everyone. So for our critical thinking case study number 4, we analyzed a real business scenario called Canna Smoke, a cannabis boutique franchise in downtown Toronto that started losing sales during the COVID-19 pandemic. The owner, Curtis, puts together a three-person team, Kathy, Steve, and Harpreet, and gives them four 30 minutes meetings to figure out why sales are dropping and what to do about it. It sounds simple enough, right? Except almost nothing goes well. And when you look at it through the lens of problem solving dispositions, it's actually a really clear example of what not to do, and in one case, what to do. We are going to break it all down, the mistakes, the one bright spot, what it should have looked like, and what the research says.
Let's start with Curtis, the owner. His biggest mistake from a PS disposition standpoint is a lack of structure and leadership. He identifies there's a problem, which is good, but then he just hands it off. He gives the team four 30-minute meetings and no real direction. No clear goals, no assigned roles, no framework for how to approach the problem. According to problem solving theory, effective problem solving starts with clearly defining the problem and giving people a structured path to follow. Without that, teams lose focus and accountability drops, which is exactly what happens here. Kathy demonstrates what Desirilla and Neju call a negative problem orientation. She genuinely believes that helping her boss is a no-win situation. If it works, he takes the credit. If it doesn't, she gets blamed. That kind of thinking reveals fear of failure and avoidance behavior. Instead of engaging with the problem, she holds back, which drags down the whole team's creativity and energy. Steve's issues are low engagement and shallow thinking. He's on his phone during meetings. His entire analysis is just COVID, COVID, COVID. He doesn't follow through on commitments. He tells Harpreet he'll get back to her by the weekend and then just doesn't. There is a breakdown in accountability, which is a core part of effective team problem solving. Now, Harpreet is the only character who actually show a positive problem solving disposition. She pushes the team to brainstorm. She focuses on controllable factors instead of just blaming COVID, and she does the research herself when no one else steps up. That reflects Titus's creative problem solving process, which is moving from problem recognition to generating real solutions. The downside is she ends up working alone, doesn't share her slides with the team beforehand, which weakens the final presentation. But her orientation is clearly the most positive of the group.
If we look at question 3, we had to rewrite the key scenes to show what positive dispositions actually looks like in action. So let me walk you through what we changed and why. In the original, the first meeting is basically 5 minutes of silence followed by people checking their phones. In our rewritten version, Curtis reopens the meeting differently. He says something like sales are down, here's what I know so far, and here's what I need from you. He sets a clear goal, assigns roles, and tells the team what success looks like. That alone changes everything because now people know what they are supposed to do. In the original, Kathy shuts down brainstorming by warning everyone it's a no-win situation. In our version, she says let's look at what we can actually change. And she also reframes the problem as an opportunity instead of a threat. That's a textbook positive problem solving orientation shift. Steve in the original contributes almost nothing and doesn't follow through. In our rewrite, he actually checks what competitors are doing and brings that back to the team. He follows through. Simple, but it matters. And Harpreet, instead of doing all the work alone, showing up with slides nobody's seen, she shares her draft with Kathy and Steve before the presentation. She asks for input. The final presentation becomes a team product, not just her work, with two people standing next to her. The result is a meeting with Curtis where everyone is on the same page, the ideas are stronger, and the team actually looks like a team. Sales are down. I need your help with ideas we can use. Curtis, perfect. Bring back what you find. Even if it's messy, we'll organize them later together. I recommend testing a few small changes first to see what works before any big shifts. But other than that, I think we got something promising to use to win our customers back. Great teamwork, guys.
So now I'll cover the research behind all of this and the two articles that connect directly to what we saw in the case. So the first is a peer-reviewed study from 2006 published in the Frontier in Psychology. It looked at how critical thinking dispositions and problem-solving abilities affect performance. The key finding was that traits like persistent, analytical thinking, and genuine willingness to engage with the problem are what separate strong problem solvers from weak ones. So, people with these dispositions are more adaptive and better at handling complex, ambiguous situations. When I read that, I immediately thought of Harpy. She's one of our case characters. She was the only one who actually was persistent. She kept pushing even when Kathy and Steven stopped. And she's the one thinking analytically, looking at the competitors, their online sales, and their staffing. Kathy and Steven, on the other hand, showed almost none of these dispositions, and they disengaged and also deflected everything. The second source is a non-peer-reviewed Forbes article that talks on collaborative problem-solving skills in organization. It highlights three things that effective teams do, which are stay open-minded, focus on root causes instead of just surface-level symptoms, and actually work together rather than just be in the same room. So the Can of Smoke team failed on all three of these things. They were not open-minded. Kathy has already decided it's pointless. They did not dig into root causes. They just blamed everything on COVID, and they did not collaborate. So Harpy ends up doing everything alone. Together, these sources describe exactly what went wrong in this case and what the teams needed to do differently. So to wrap it all up, this case is really a clear picture on how problem-solving dispositions matter before you even get to the solution. Curtis didn't structure the process, Kathy let fear drive her decision, Steve disengaged, and the team never communicated together between meetings. Harpy tried, but without support from the other, even her efforts fell short. Their research confirmed it. Persistence, collaboration, open-mindedness, and focusing on what you can control are what separate teams that are good problem-solving teams rather than just teams that just talk about the problem. That's our case study analysis, and thank you for watching.